Cold brew coffee is all the rage right now, and whether that's because it's trendy or maybe just because it's summer is hard to say. But either way, cold brew coffee is said to be less acidic, smoother, and can contain less caffeine than its hot brewed counterpart. I'm Erin from TechGadgetsCanada.com, working with 8-ounce Coffee Supply. They've asked me to review a handful of cold brew and iced coffee gadgets and report back. Cold brew and iced coffee are two very different things. Cold brew coffee is made using only cold water, as the name suggests, whereas iced coffee is made with hot water that's then poured over ice. The ice cools everything off, and you're going to add less water to your iced coffee in the beginning to compensate for that melting ice. Now with cold brew, you'll use that cold water we talked about, coarser grains, and a much longer steep time, anywhere from a few hours to overnight. Whereas with iced coffee, you can make it instantly. Because the hot water speeds that extraction process, you can make it quickly. Once it flows over the ice, that cools everything down and you have iced coffee almost right away. Though you can make cold brew coffee at home with something as simple as a French press, there are a host of new gadgets that allow you to make cold brew quickly, easily, and conveniently right in your own home.
There are 4 gadgets we're going to take a look at, and from left to right, they're the Hereo Cold Brew Coffee Jug, the Hereo Mizudashi Pitcher, Hereo's V60 glass iced coffee maker, and the Toddy. We'll take a look at what each one does, how it works, and what the coffee's like on the other side.
This is a glass cold brew coffee container from Hereo, and I like it because it's really simple.
All you need to do is add some medium ground coffee to the metal mesh filter, fill it with cold water, and leave it in the fridge for a few hours or overnight. This is definitely the easiest cold brewer I've tried, but I find you may want to make the coffee a bit stronger than you would otherwise by adding more grounds. With the sleek, tall carafe and the brushed metal, it's a great-looking coffee device that first-timers will find easy to use. It's also excellent for cold, steep tea.
Hereo makes another cold brewer we're going to take a look at, and this is the Hereo Mizudashi. Mizudashi in Japanese translates to water soup, which is not the most elegant name for this gadget. Now, it's essentially the same as the other carafe we took a look at, but it's got some slightly different aesthetics. And a couple other differences. One of them is that while this one uses plastic parts, the other one uses metal.
They work exactly the same. Add medium ground coffee or tea leaves to the plastic mesh filter, fill it with cold water, and leave it in the fridge for a few hours or overnight.
Both of these brewers are ideal for making cold brew tea, and that is my new obsession this summer. When you make tea with cold water and let it steep for a few hours or overnight in the fridge or even at room temperature, you don't get any of the bitterness that you can often find associated with some kinds of tea, so it's the ultimate summer refresher.
I did find a bit of sediment can get into your drink with these particular brewers, both with coffee and tea, but it's not too much and it's not unpleasant.
This is the Toddy, and the biggest surprise for me with this particular brewer is that it's been around for over 50 years. The Toddy makes not just cold brew coffee, but cold brew coffee concentrate. And it works by extracting all the natural and delicate flavors of coffee or tea and leaving behind all the bitter oils and acids that you can sometimes find in hot brew coffee.
The Toddy uses a lot of coffee, about a pound, and while that may seem like a lot, keep in mind you're making a lot of cold brew concentrate, so it should go a long way. It also keeps for about 2 weeks in the fridge, sealed in an airtight container, so there's no rush to use it. Here's how it works. First, stick the included rubber stopper into the bottom of the brewing container, push it in from the bottom, and doing this backwards will ruin your day. Also, make sure it's in there tight. For the best flavor, start with 12 ounces or 340 grams of coarsely ground coffee and 7 cups or 1.65 liters of filtered water. Dampen the included fiber filter and insert it into the bottom of the depression in the brewing container. For detailed instructions, head over to TechGadgetsCanada.com, but basically you're going to add part of the water and part of the coffee in small batches, alternating until you've used it all. Whatever you do, don't stir it. That can clog the filter. Instead, if you want, push on the topmost grounds with the back of a wooden spoon to get them a bit more wet. Let your mix sit for about 12 to 24 hours. Now, if you want, you can also line the brewing container with a Toddy filter bag before adding your grounds if you want a pristine brew instead of leaving them free-floating. When time is up, remove the rubber stopper and let your coffee concentrate flow into the included glass decanter. Toddy recommends when you're drinking it to use 1 part concentrate to 3 parts water or milk, but you can of course adjust this to taste. I actually really liked 1-to-1, but I'm a bit of a caffeine junkie.
The Toddy is really easy to use and it makes a beautifully bold, dark, and rich coffee concentrate. Cleanup is similarly simple with it. You'll just rinse and reuse this fiber filter. Get it under some cold running water, get all the grounds out of it, and it's ready to go for your next batch of cold brew concentrate.
This cold brew kit will look familiar to many coffee lovers. With a glass carafe and glass filter brewer, it can brew both hot coffee and cold. And here we're making Japanese-style iced coffee, not cold brew.
What sets the Hereo V60 apart is the use of the ice chamber, which drops down into the center of the pot. Here you're also going to need a paper filter.
Making iced coffee is really simple and straightforward. Just fill the chamber with ice, then add your coffee grounds into that paper filter and slowly pour hot water over top. As it brews, it's cooling the coffee, and afterwards you can add more ice to serve it.
The V60 is definitely made for iced coffee, and you'll notice a cleaner, brighter tasting coffee than when you compare it to cold brew. I love the fact that with this gadget you can use it for making cold brew or remove the ice chamber to make hot brewed coffee in the traditional drip method. I also thought that the sleek glass design looked really nice sitting out on the counter.
If you want to use the V60 to brew pour over hot coffee, just remove that plastic ice chamber.
I liked each of these gadgets, but for different reasons. With the glass carafes, it was really handy to keep a couple different versions of cold brew tea going, and then I was able to take them right out of the fridge and put them straight onto the table because they looked so nice. With iced coffee, the V60 was the obvious choice, and when it came to wanting to make cold brew concentrate, that's where the toddy came in. So depending on what your own tastes and preferences are, you may want to choose a different one or several of these gadgets. If you want to read more about them, head over to techgadgetscanada.com. I've got a full write-up there. You can also check out 8ouncecoffee.ca for more information. If you liked this video and found it helpful, please hit that like button and consider subscribing, since it helps me keep making more videos that I hope you all can watch and enjoy. I'm Erin. Find me on Twitter or Instagram. Until the next time, I'm at ErinLYYC.